Yeah.
Yeah. You still feel like what?
Oh, I was just thinking that, like, with War Thunder and their air battles, like, it'd be kind of cool if they made a simulator, like a realistic version of their simulator battles.
Yeah, that's kind of what I want them to do.
It's just like how you have normal realistic battles that they have, and then it goes, and then you have the realistic with like one big map. This is a continuous battle, and then you have a simulator version of it.
Yeah, so it's called Enduring Confrontation. It's something a lot of people would like to see them bring back. The thing is, Enduring Confrontation isn't actually that, like, deep and complex. Like, I would like Enduring Confrontation, but even Enduring Confrontation, I think they need to revamp. I want to make a video specifically about it where I can go into more detail, but, like, the TLDR, like, really simplifying it down to, like a nut, I would like them to look at something like League of Legends for inspiration, and I know that sounds fucking retarded because it's a completely different game style, but hear me out, okay? Basically,
yeah, just that, but you don't have visible lanes and maybe more of them.
Exactly. So basically what I want them to do is you have a system where there's factories, there's rail lines, there's staging bases, and there's front lines, right? So, like, your A-10 pilot, all he ever does is go and hit the front line, right? So to him, he feels like he's providing, like, accurate fire to troops in contact, doing the, like, A-10 thing, being a badass, you know, doing the thing, right? In reality, the, like, gears under the surface, like, what's really going on there is you have, like, two lines of minions like you do in League. It's just they look like tanks, and they drive towards each other, and when they meet, they make a front line. And so your, like, interdictors and your, like, tornadoes or whatever, they go and they bomb these railway lines, and that delays troops coming to the front to reinforce the front lines. Or, like, your bombers, like the what's it called? Like the F-117. They go and they bomb the factory, and when they bomb the factory, it means that the railway lines they don't get repaired as quickly. You know, stuff like that. So the combined total of the different roles in the game working together means that you actually push the front line, and the game just goes until one side pushes the front line all the way through. So, like, underneath the surface, it's a really, really simple game system. Which is why I think they could make it and they could implement it pretty easily. I just don't think it's something that they will make or implement.
Sorry, I just Panzerfausted a dude that ran right in front of me.
But yeah, that's like the simple version. I wanna, like I said, I wanna make a video where I, like, go into more detail about, like, the game mode and what I would like to see them do with it, but like, that's a simple version.
I was not expecting to see that guy.
So you were talking about 50 cals earlier.
Oh, yeah, I just hate how weak the 50 cal is on... Oh, someone blew it up. On the half track. Like, it takes... It has the same thing like the half track for the Germans, where it just overheats too quickly, but it's just like, it's a 50 cal, but it takes like 3 shots to kill somebody.
I feel like it's even worse with the German one.
Like, it should be... like, it should do just as much damage as the heavy gun does.
The buildable for...
Yeah,
yeah.
As the buildable heavy gun. It should hit just as hard as that.
So, I think
it may be because it hits as hard, maybe you have it overheat faster. Like, compared to the German one wouldn't overheat as bad, because it doesn't do as much damage. Because it would need those 2 or 3 bullets to kill somebody.
So I think part of the issue is that they modeled it off of the same ones that are on the tanks. Because, okay, if you remember far enough back in Enlisted, back when we first started playing the game, tanks had machine guns that just didn't overheat. You just reloaded them. And, I don't know, people complained about tanks being too powerful. I don't actually believe that tanks were ever particularly powerful. Like, all the same things that could kill them then, or can kill them now, could kill them back then. So, I feel like it was an unnecessary nerf that they never needed to do, and I wouldn't really be upset if they went and undid it. That's basically my take on it. Like, I just don't think that they should overheat the way that they do, period.
Wow. I am not used to, like, Panzerfaust at all.
Yeah, they fought really hard for that last objective, and they're really not doing a whole lot for this one.
Oh, I'm happy. I killed a tank with Panzerfaust. I have one more. Oh, I undershot. I overshot every other one, and that one I undershoot.
Alright, Josh, what do you think about the drum mag tax?
Yeah, I think it's. I think it should be gun dependent. Yeah.
Okay, can you elaborate?
Like, you need a reason for the different Thompsons to be at the different levels. I know because you're talking about like there's like the snail drum thing and.
Yeah. Basically, like the TLDR is that I think that there's a lot of guns that are pushed into BRs that are higher than what they should be, and it's because there's like a perceived power imbalance with them. But I don't actually think that that power imbalance exists in the way that people think it does. And because of that, I think it's created a circumstance where there are too many weapons all stuck in BR5, and there's not enough weapons in, like, BR4. And to some extent, things should go down to BR3, depending on the weapon. But BR3 isn't as in need as BR4 is.
Nope, I just killed the flamer.
I'm getting my ass kicked.
But
yeah, basically, the example I usually use would either be high BR Russia, or if not high BR Russia, it would be high BR Germany. In fact, high BR Germany almost makes a better example, because in Germany's case, it's not a drum mag tax, it's an assault rifle tax. But like the STG 45, the premium one, and the MKV, for example, statistically, they're so much worse than the STG that I don't feel like there's any way you can justify them being in the same BR. I think that the game felt better when they were the equivalent of like BR3, because they used to be like high BR Moscow or like high BR Stalingrad. I shouldn't say BR, we didn't have BR back then, but like they were late in the progression. Like you unlocked them fairly late in those campaigns.
yeah.
And I know that they got moved up because people at the time complained about them being really powerful and being, like, exclusive. Like, that's not the way they phrased them, but what I think they actually meant without saying it, or without realizing it, was that there was an exclusivity issue with them. Because I don't think that they're horrifically overpowered, like the MKB specifically. I don't think it's like particularly overpowered compared to like other BR4 weapons. And I don't think it would be out of place putting it at BR3. Though I know people would argue against that. But it's the same thing with like the PPD 34, which is BR4 right now, and the PPD 40, which is BR5. Like the PPD 40, the PPSH, the Fedorov, the AS44, all of those are BR5, and I feel like it creates an issue where realistically you're only ever going to use the PPSH because statistically it's the best of the drum mag weapons at that BR. And then even then, it doesn't see a whole lot of use because it's competing against the AS44 and the Fedorov. Which, it still offers something that's worth having. Like, if your goal is specifically to clear buildings and to clear rooms, then the PPSH is probably going to be the better weapon versus the Fedorov, because Fedorov is like 25 rounds, but it hits harder. Or the AS-44, which is just the best jack-of-all-trades weapon in the Russian tech tree. I think the solution then, if it were me doing it with Russia, would move the PPD-34 38 with the drum mag to BR3, and by proxy the snail mag would go to BR3, and then the PPD 40 would go to BR4.
I don't know, maybe, like, I guess I could see, but maybe not putting drums in a tier where you might be fighting somebody who only has bolts. I guess that's kind of the only thing I can think of.
Right, but for the most part, like, BR3 has semi-autos accessible for every nation. And they're like good semi-autos at BR3. It's not like the BR2 ones where like they have semi-autos at BR2 for every nation, but not every nation has good I guess the Russians don't have a semi-auto at BR2, now that I think about it. But most of the nations have a semi-auto at BR2. It's just most of them aren't very good. But like, the Gewehr 41, when you fully upgrade it, is really good. Or the SVT 38 is really good. Or like the M1 Garand is really good, right? So I don't think that realistically you might get players that are playing at BR3 with bolt actions, but there's ample opportunity at BR3 for you to outfit everybody in your army with a gun that is not a bolt action.
Oh, I just... Because that's the only thing I can think of. Because if you're playing BR2... Like, I feel like...
BR2 they do, but at BR3 you have the box mag PPSH. I feel like the PPSH as a platform is better than the PPD 34, and by proxy, I then feel like if you increase the ammo capacity of the PPD 34, you can put it at the same BR as the PPSH. Then when it comes to something like the MKB, you could make the MKB BR3 comfortably. You could move it to BR4 and it would probably be in a better spot for like the community sensibilities. Like if it were me though, I would move the MKB to BR3, even if that means making it a machine gun. Like I'd be willing to make the compromise that you take the MKB off of assault squads and you put it, well, you could leave it on assault squads and make it BR4, I guess, just to like break up the high BR. But I would be happy with it becoming a machine gun, or like a machine gunner weapon, and putting it at BR3, because then you can put like whatever like dispersion debuff on it that you want if you really feel like it's necessary. I don't, but you could. But it also means that you're limited to putting like 3 of them in a squad instead of having 4.
Yeah.
And even then, like, I think having them on all 4 assaulters at BR3 would not actually be to the detriment of the game, because I think it's only marginally better than an MP40. I don't actually believe that it's better than a PPS-43, which is a BR2 gun, which is what it would be
Yeah,
fighting.
because I can see what they because MKB it just shoots so slow.
Yeah, it's only and the
Oh,
STG-45
it
shoots even slower.
It's basically it's just a more accurate MP40 at that point.
That hits harder. And so the comparison that I've made in the past is if you compare it to like a bar, which is BR3, the bar has less ammo, but it hits harder. The MKB hits less hard and is, I think, a little bit more stable, and it has more rounds. And then the bar also shoots faster.
Yeah, I also like at a bare minimum they should probably at least make it 4 because it was like you said before, like because it's like what's the point of having it at 5 when you have the MP43 and the STG when like I would like to think your average player once they unlock
I think your average
STG.
player is never going to buy it. Like that's
Well,
the
the
issue
thing
that
is,
I
like
see.
once you get it, it take you like you take your average player what like 6-7 games to unlock the next one.
Something like that.
At that
But
point,
and it's like it's not worth the silver. Like I obviously have a ton of them because I played in the old campaigns, right? But like for a normal player, it's not worth the silver investment to buy the gun for like a whole squad. Like let's say you have like a 5 guys in an assault squad because you've got 4 assaulters and you've got like a medic or you've got like a sniper to put like a sniper MKB on. So let's say you've got 5 guys that you want to buy them for and upgrade them for. It's just not worth the silver investment when the MP44 and the STG cost or the MP43 rather, and the STG cost the same amount to upgrade. And like the issue that I run into is at the same time as I feel like there are certain weapons that should go down. I also was talking to somebody on like the subreddit the other day, and basically they were advocating for putting in like a BR6 and spacing out the BRs, and the thing is, I don't really agree with like the need to space out what's already here, because I don't think that the difference between the bottom end and the top end of Enlisted is significant. Which this is its own discussion that we should probably also have separate to this, but my point is that in most games, like most shooters that you would run into, you'd run into the weapon set that's in Enlisted, and you'd be able to bring any of them against any of them, and there wouldn't be like a BR system. And it's because the difference in performance between like the top end and the bottom end weapons just isn't that significant. Even though statistically the STG-44 is like leaps and bounds better than the MKB, I can still run like 3 MKB squads or 2 MKB squads and the premium STG-45 squad, which is an even worse gun than the MKB, and I can still rack up like 100, 150 plus kills in a match doing that at BR5. So like, it's not that the gun is bad at BR5 and it needs to go down because of that. The reason why I think it should go down is because statistically when you look at it, it shouldn't be seeing play, because it's so easy to get the next gun, and at the same time, the cost to like buy it and upgrade it is like prohibitively expensive.
yeah. Just to make it even even when you do fully upgrade it, it's still like it barely shoots just as quick or as the others.
Yeah.
Which is really like its only downside.
Which also, on the same topic of guns that need to go down, the Fedorov MG squad, I don't have it, and I refuse to get it as long as it's BR5. That it's an absolute fucking travesty that it's at BR5. It's a bigger, bulkier Fedorov that is on an MG squad that for some reason is at the same BR as the assault rifle version of it.
Oh my god, I'm stuck.
And I don't know, I don't like that. I need to look at the dispersion stats on it, but I assume being a machine gun, it probably suffers from the machine gun like movement and shooting debuff. So I just don't see how it belongs at the same BR as the normal Fedorov, when the normal Fedorov doesn't suffer from those drawbacks. But if you're happy with where we are with, like, drum tax, then we can move on to the other thing I was talking about with like, increasing BRs and separation and whatnot. You cool with that?
Yeah.
Okay. So, building off of what I was saying before, I don't feel like the difference between, like, a BR2 weapon and a BR5 weapon is particularly significant. Generally the comparison that I give is if you went and you played War Thunder and you went into air battles, there are planes that it's been gradually getting more and more decompressed, but there are planes that are decades apart in some instances where their technology and their capabilities are so vastly different that they've needed to have BR separation. And I don't believe that that's the case in Enlisted. Basically, if you look at where top tier was a few years ago, you had planes that couldn't go Mach, that didn't have flares, that were fighting against planes that were like Mach capable, and they had not just basic infrared guided missiles, but like good infrared guided missiles that could pull like multiple Gs and actually turn after somebody. Okay, to the point where it became prohibitive to play certain aircraft because if anybody got behind you, then it was over. You didn't have a way of countering the missile if they got into the position where they could fire it.
Yeah.
Or like, for example, the difference between like a Fox 3 capable plane and a plane that can only use like Fox 1s, even if they're like good Fox 1s. The difference in like power capability is significant. And like there are other examples I could use, but I'm just trying to establish a point here. When you go into Enlisted, there are lots of guns that you can get at like BR2, like an M1 carbine, that I can take into BR5, and I can take nothing but M1 carbines into BR5, and I am not going to notice a significant difference in my play. Like, yes, statistically it's a weaker gun, but it's also good enough that it just doesn't make a difference. Like, the best example is probably the PPS-42, because it used to be a Berlin gun. It was great in Berlin then. The PPS-43 is better than it, and they're both BR2. But you can take a PPS-42 into BR5, you can take it on every assault squad, and you can easily put up over 100 kills. Like, you're easily competitive
in this game
with everybody else around you. And so, when I was talking to the guy, I feel like his point was a little bit misguided, because what he was saying is he wanted to introduce more variety by separating things by BR more, which I think I get what he meant. It's kind of a similar thing to what I was talking about previously with the MKB, where there are certain weapons that don't get play because there are other things at the same BR as them. But in practice, I think what it would actually mean is that certain BRs would just become dominated by certain weapons because there wouldn't be any alternatives. So, for example, if you took like the Lanchester and the grease gun, right, like the M3A1 grease gun, they're both BR2, I believe, right? And you bumped all of BR3 up to BR4, all of BR5 up to BR6, and then you separated like these BR2 weapons, right? This is, again, just to make an example, like, assume that you could separate every BR out a little bit. So instead of having like 5 BRs, you have like 7 or 8, right? Yeah. I feel like it would make each BR become more sterile and more boring, because now instead of having like a choice at a BR, you would have like a homogenized BR, like BR4 Germany, right? BR4 Germany only has the Italian submachine gun. There's no other choice. So the only thing you can bring is the Italian submachine gun, or you bring stuff from lower BRs. Which makes running automatic weapons, like squads that use automatic weapons, whether it's guerrillas or assaulters or whatever, right? At BR4 Germany, kind of boring. And I know that this is kind of like antithetical to my previous point, because my previous point is that there was too much stuff in BR5, right? I still think that there's too much stuff in BR5, but I think that the choices that you have between weapons need to be impactful and decisive. It's why I think the choice between bringing a PPSH-41 at BR5 versus a Fedorov versus an AS-44 is like an impactful choice, because the PPSH is a weapon that's specialized for close quarters and clearing buildings. And if what you're planning on doing is being hyper-aggressive, in your face, clearing buildings, then it is the best assault weapon that you can bring in the Russian tech tree. But if you're planning on taking a more general approach where you might be at range, you might be clearing buildings, and you're going to be doing both, then the AS-44 is a better choice. But like, it creates an instance where choosing one or the other has an impact on how you play the game and what your, like, personal strategy or your personal preference is.
What?
So,
I did not kill anybody.
My point here, to round everything back, is that I think that there are certain weapons that are over-BR'd because they clutter BRs, not necessarily because their power is, like, too insufficient for said BR. But at the same time, I also don't think that we need to space out everything in the game we have right now, because even at the top and the bottom, I don't think that there's a significant enough difference between power that we need to add many more BRs. Or even really more than, like, one. Like, you could argue adding, like, one more BR, but I feel like if they add one more BR, then they need to bring more equipment into the game to populate that BR. Because there's already not enough stuff at some of the BRs, like BR4, for example, feels barren. What do you think?
Yeah, I can see adding... Well, I mean, if they add another BR, because there's a lot of BRs that have multiple weapons on them. But the thing is, like, the one thing, like, is there enough people who play this game to really add more BRs? I love how they're taking the point, and I'm in a tank trying to, like, hold them off here.
I don't know. I don't have, like, player data numbers. I feel like there is, but I don't know. The only way that I would add another BR is if we either went back in time and added something before World War II, or if we added in Korea, like officially added in Korea. I know that we have a lot of stuff from Korea, or that can be an analog to things that you could have found in Korea, but I don't know. Like, I don't think that we need another BR, is basically what I'm saying. But I don't think me not thinking we need another BR invalidates my point that there's too many things in BR5 and it's cluttered.
You can't put the fire out in this tank with inside the tank. That's not.
Like, I don't think that moving things down from BR5 would compress the game, because I don't think that there's enough stuff below it to be compressed. Also, I just feel like certain things are at certain BRs either out of an overreaction from the player base before the merge, and like there were like lots of complaints about certain things that I think were unfounded, and it was either coming from a place of not understanding, or like just overestimation. Or I also think that there are lots of weapons in this game that got their BR somewhat arbitrarily because something had to be there, so why not insert X weapon?
Yeah.
And to be fair, like, some things have really been improved on. Like, the MP40, for example, used to be BR3. Like, a lot of the German assault weapons have moved down. It's just the top end hasn't moved down. So, like, the MP40 and the MP38 moved down, the ZK moved down.
You want to do BR4 Germany, but the only thing you got is the Beretta.
Yeah. But then basically, like, both of these points that we've discussed kind of tie into each other. It's like, you want to do BR4, but there's too much shit at BR5, and there's not enough stuff at BR4. Like, there's nothing to use at BR4, and there's too many things that aren't worth using at BR5. Not because they can't perform, but because modern gamers are statistical players who will optimize the fun out of games.
Yeah.
And to be fair, it's something that I, like, ask myself all the time. Like, I do ask myself when I'm thinking up these issues whether or not it's actually an issue or whether I'm just optimizing the fun out of stuff, because I do, like, run all other, like, weird loadouts somewhat frequently. But it's because I'll sit down and be like, well, if I keep running STGs, I ran STGs, like last week, I ran them yesterday, like, it's my normal default go-to thing to run STGs, but it gets boring if I just run STGs.
Yeah.
So, like, then I'll take and put on a bunch of MKBs instead, and it's like, they're technically worse, but, like, does it really make a difference? Not really. It's kind of like when we started playing BR3 Russia the other day, and you were asking me if you should just run the PPSH 43s or if you should actually use the PPSHs. And I don't remember exactly what I said, but I think I basically said it doesn't really matter. Because, like, your maxed out PPS 43 versus your unupgraded PPSH, like, they're gonna perform pretty similarly. Like, the PPS 43 is probably gonna hit harder. The PPSH is probably gonna shoot, like, marginally faster even when it's unupgraded. So, like, at the end of the day, does it make a difference? Not really. It's cheaper to run the PPSs. Although you can absolutely make the argument then that, you know, if you're going to run the PPS, then why not just run BR2 where you're running the most optimum BR for the weapon.
Yeah.
So, what do you think we're going to get in the next Battle Pass?
I have no idea. I don't think I paid attention enough to this game to know. Like, I don't even know what the last event gave us.
So, I have no idea what's coming in the next Battle Pass, because Darkflow hasn't seen fit to post anything about the next Battle Pass. So, like, just about every Battle Pass, I assume that this Battle Pass is going to get extended. Because we have, like, 3 days left, and they haven't said anything about what's coming.
I'm surprised we haven't taken this objective yet.
There is in the current, well, okay, I don't know if it's the current Battle Pass, or if it was, like, the one before this, but there is a Battle Pass tank that is in IS-2. There's also one that's in IS-1. So, I wonder if we're going to see a Battle Pass Tiger 2P at some point. I feel like it's been out long enough that they could add it, It's been out since before the merge, I think. I'm almost certain it's been around longer than the merge. I'm pretty sure the Tiger 2H was around before the merge in Berlin. I think it was added, like, right before the merge. But, like, I realized that they don't have, like, they don't have a Battle Pass IS-2 44. They just have, like, a basic bitch IS-2. Man, fucking clicked on that. Get me. But yeah, basically, I'm curious to see what we get.
Well, we're down to our last lives now.
I know, we're actually gonna lose this.
Oh, killed the 4K.
I threw a bomb at the other one.
There's like people out in the woods.
Yeah, they
here.
got me.
I love wounding people with my tank and not killing them.
So, what do you think then of the Battle Pass shop format? Like, are you happy with, like, orders for weapons or orders for, what's it called? Orders for weapons, orders for, soldiers, and orders for vehicles? That's a shame. He was counting down for them before. We're both out of tickets, though. I think we just need people on the... Or, we need them off the point, and then I think we need us on the point.
All I have is a pistol, so... Even if I shot someone, and I have this shitty, like,
I
revolver,
didn't think that
so
we were
going to
win this. It's just... It was looking a little bit promising when it was counting down for them. But yeah, are you happy with the Battle Pass shop?
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, in my opinion, the shit's a little expensive. I mean, you look. But then again, I'm the kind of person where, like, if you're spending $20 for digital something, I feel like that's just ridiculous.
Gotcha.
So.
So.
I mean, I understand they need to make money, but like, I mean, you're looking at what, it's like $5 a gun for a digital. Which, granted, I mean, that's actually not bad compared to like what most games will do, but it's like, here, give us $10 and you get the skin of a gun. But like, I mean, I don't mind the shop, and it's nice the stuff rotates out. Like this. I mean, I wish I played the game a little more. You know, actually unlock stuff, but I don't know, I have such a hard time.
So, I think that they've made a lot of effort lately to provide more value to different parts of the Battle Pass shop. For a very long time, I feel like the only thing in the shop that was, like, worth it were the guns.
Yeah, because like, I kind of agree with you that, like, all the Battle Pass vehicles, they shouldn't be vehicles, they should be squads.
Okay, yeah, see, that's where I was going with this. I think that they've increased the value of the soldiers, because before, like, prior to when they added the XP buff onto the soldier, I thought they were worthless. Like, even after they went and gave them perfect stats, I still thought they were worthless. The XP is nice, but it's still...
like, they should add bundles into these, where, like, there should be Battle Pass, like, you should have, like, squad, like, so you can get a Battle Pass, like, you get the unique people, but you also get, like, they should bundle, like, things together, like the people and the guns, and you get, like, so you can get a Battle Pass squad that has, you know, all the unique characters in it, and then they, like, you can then pick, like, a gun to get. Be kind of cool. So,
That'd
like,
be
you know,
cool.
you can pick the machine gunner and then get the RPK 1943s for them.
Yeah,
And then
so
they'll be like the event squads. So, like, I know you want the event squads to get away from the 4-man, 5-man stuff so that they can be more useful. But I mean, if this is the system they go with, you know, so you know you can get a 4-man squad of RPKs, but it's like it's a whole squad. I mean, but you still have the option to buy the guns as well, so then you can also just spread them out to other squads.
that'd be cool. You see, I hadn't thought about it that way before. My whole concept was because I like the guns. I like the guns being their own thing, so that you can put them on normal squads. I just don't necessarily see the value in the vehicles or the individual soldiers. So my whole thing that I was going to propose was getting rid of soldier orders and getting rid of vehicle orders and replacing it with a squad order. And so every battle pass, they'd add in like one squad for each nation in there. So, you know, like over time, after 2 or 3 battle passes, you know, there'd be several squads in there, right?
Yeah.
But the idea is that you'd spend your like gold squad token, and you'd get like a battle pass squad, and that battle pass squad would be the same as like a premium squad or an event squad. It would not be a premium squad, and it would not be an event squad that we've already had. It would be unique to being a battle pass squad.
Oops, wait.
But like, it would effectively be the same concept as an event squad. It's just like a separate set of them.
This sucks. I have to actually go back and get the Obrez.
Honest to God, I think
can't
the
get my-
Obrez is like really good.
I mean, I was just like, I finally got the PPD
Like-
3438s, and I can't buy them because they added the Obrez.
It's a terrible gun, but if you use it in its intended role, it is an outstanding gun.
What do you mean? It's just like. I mean, the thing I don't understand is like, how does it have like the same recoil essentially as
Because
the actual
it
PPS
has-
when it doesn't have a stock?
I'm pretty sure it has a recoil control modifier.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
Like, the-
it's basically
The recoil's
just
the same,
PPS
but your
41
ability
box,
to
but
control
without
the
a-
recoil is worse.
Mm.
I promise you, it does have more recoil, or like more felt recoil. But if you're using it to clear a room, it is filthy. Like a squad of 5 of those, like 5 gorillas of those, just rolling up into a building, just burnt.
But yeah,
Especially
I
if you're a
can see,
German. It's not as big of an
actually-
upgrade as a Russian.
You know, well, okay, the thing with your battle pass, like I would actually still keep, like I would make the soldiers cheaper or something, because it was like I feel like because like you said they don't really have much of a value.
Yeah,
So
the
I would
20%
probably
XP is
make them-
nice, but yeah.
I would
I-
make them a little cheaper so that way, but then still implement your squad idea.
I don't think that the vehicles are worth what the vehicles claim to be worth. Like, I don't think they're worth 1,200 gold.
I mean, it is kind of like I think the only ones are the ISs because if you're you don't really have to get that far into the tree to get the squad, and then you can have an IS at tier 5
Yeah, no, like
if you haven't done tanks.
I see the value in you don't have to research the next like 5 tanks in the tech tree. Like, I get that. And depending on, you know, when it is, because back in Normandy, being able to go and get like a Panther or a Tiger in like Berlin or whatever, right? Like, those were valuable battle pass squads as well, like, or vehicles, right? But like, assume that it's not a specific battle pass vehicle that lets you skip half the tech tree, right? Like, let's assume it's just a normal battle pass vehicle and not one of these niche vehicles. A normal battle pass vehicle, you get to get a vehicle that's fully upgraded, so you're saving like, I don't know, 20,000 silver. And you're getting a skin.
Hmm. But it's another one of those things where they do have value in players like you, though, where you have old campaign squads. So
It
if
doesn't
you
come with a
wanted
squad.
to, huh?
Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I'm saying because if you wanted to, you can run 2 IS-2s because you have the old tank. Oh, I think you do.
No, I
Because
don't.
if you have one of the old tank squads that unlocked it originally, you can now run 2 squads with them.
Yeah,
So,
I
like,
could do that with Germany. I can't do it with Russia.
I say because like that's like the battle pass vehicles, in my opinion, have the most value to the really old players who unlocked a lot before the merge. Because then it enables you to
it's
run
really
2 of
BR
the same
dependent.
vehicle.
It's really BR dependent because the thing is, so right now, because of what you're talking about with Germany, I can run the Tiger 2H and I can run the Tiger 2P. If they brought out a Battle Pass Tiger 2H, yeah, I could bring 2 Tiger 2Hs. That would be powerful. I don't think they're going to do that.
Or if they brought a battle pass version
they,
of the Tiger 2P.
Yeah, I think they would do a
1P.
Tiger 2P, but the problem is I can already run the Tech Tree and the Tiger 2H, so it's not at it. So the point that I'm making is if I could do it for Russia, right? I can already run the IS-2 1944, and if I had the other squad that I don't have, I could run the IS-2 normal or the IS-1, right? So getting the Battle Pass version doesn't actually change that. Like, I can already do that regardless of whether I've got the Battle Pass version. Like, the exception is if it's like a really, really high-end vehicle for that. Yeah, we're top tier, by the way. I just pulled out a fucking Mads. But yeah, I see what you're getting at. I suspect that the, like, practical use case, though, is very, very niche. Like, I have 2 Tiger E's and 2 Panther G's, so like, theoretically, BR4 I could run 2 Panther G's. If they ever move the Tiger E down, then I'd have to look at the squad options to see if I could run 3, because if I could run 3 Tiger 1s, then that would be a big deal. But I think I could still only run 2. And since there's no Battle Pass, Tiger H, it doesn't really make a difference. They'd have to actually move the Tiger E down to BR4.
Yeah, I saw all the guns people were shooting. I was like, "Yep, we're definitely not in top tier." So then I tried to build a thing in the river, but then there was an angry German who said, "No, you can't build a spawn beacon in the river." Yeah,
I know that our tickets suggest otherwise, but they had a heavy machine gun built in a really strong position here. It was kind of difficult to get around, but get around it we did.
I wish I had I didn't throw my explosive pack because there's a grenade over here.
Building off of what we were just talking about, you have before suggested something that, for me, it was not something that I'd thought of. It's an excellent idea. It's probably my favorite of your ideas, and
I probably don't even remember what it was.
Yeah, you probably don't. You literally like mentioned it in passing the other day. And that is that we should be able to buy old campaign squads from some sort of shop.
Oh, yeah.
And we're not talking about event squads, we're not talking about premium squads, we're just talking about tech tree squads. So, for example, I have an extra squad with Germany that lets me run an extra heavy tank at BR5, and it doesn't sound like a big deal, but I promise you I have a lot more fun because of it, and I am constantly kicking myself for not researching the IS-2 before the merge, because if I had, then I'd be able to do it with Russia, and BR5 Russia would be a blast, because I'd have 2 IS-2s rolling around, and that just sounds awesome. And it's not just limited to tanks or planes, but the ability to have extra preset squads for different BRs where I don't have to go in and edit them to change BRs is just like the greatest thing ever. So, for example, with Germany, I'd have to look, like I can look after this game to like get a specific number, but I have something in the neighborhood of like 19 or 20 assault squads. Now, probably half of those are premium. Maybe a little bit under half, but the point is, it lets me have like preset squads for BR2, for BR3, for BR5. I don't have any for BR4 because I have so many set up for BR5, but the point is, it means that I can have a saved lineup for BR3, and I click it, and I don't have to change anything on anybody. Like, with Russia, I have to change the paratroopers, or, like, if I bring the half-tracks, then I have to swap the loadouts on the half-tracks, but it means that my assaulters are just, like, set to go. My, like, flame troopers are already set up for, like, either high BR or for BR3. And it's really convenient to be able to go to a lineup and just click it on and not have to go through and edit all my stuff. It's really great when I play with other people, because I can just sit here and, like, one click, oh, you want to play BR3? Cool, let's go. We're ready to go. And so they either should make it so that you can buy duplicate squads of the ones that you have already researched, or they should add in some sort of shop that allows you to buy removed squads that are no longer available in-game. And in part, that would be really fun for people, because they could get things like the British and the Italians that, you know, aren't as plentiful as they used to be. Like, there's a lot of Italian squads from Tunisia, and I don't think you can get most of them these days. But yeah. You mentioned it the other day. I think it's a great idea. I really, really want to see that implemented. Like, if I could get one thing implemented, that would be it.
Oh, the guy got the Panzer III stuck. Yeah.
Was it you that I was talking to about destroying vehicle corpses as like an engineer thing?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So basically what we were talking about is putting in some sort of demo charge for engineers so that they could blow up, or even if they could just take apart dilapidated vehicles that are like littering the map.
No, it's a good thing that guy can't hang it.
Oh no, they're throwing things at me.
Yeah, well, I was thinking they just like walk up to it and you destroy it like you destroy anything else. But
yeah,
I mean,
just think it would be more fun
it would
if
be
they
cool,
placed
but you
an
also get that
explosive.
charge where you can then blow up like. Because I also mentioned that. Oh yeah, do you have like an army of dudes over there, Drew? I was like, is that shooting me?
Yeah, so it was mentioned in the context of being able to like blow up buildings, which I also think would be cool, but I also understand that, like, technically, blowing up buildings is much more complex to implement. And I also understand that as much as I think it would be cool to have destructible environments, fully destructible environments, I also recognize that that would be difficult, for a game that's trying to appeal to a broad audience, because that's going to inherently limit, what kind of machines, PCs can run the game. Oh,
Alright, the half tracks on this objective spawn in a terrible spot Unless you drive like all the way around the back, you can't get anywhere, so you have to drive up a fucking road that goes straight to the objective with no turns, because there's a cliff you can't drive up.
Some dude threw a Molotov on me and it actually took out my engine. I'm a little bit surprised.
I have to... Whatever. I'll just drive all the way around. Go across the bridge, hopefully there's not a landmine on it. So I just want to get to this church.
But yes, I do think that would be really cool.
Well, it's just like... When you have Mr. I'm gonna build a fucking...
that is actually a problem to that. I think
they...
I was clearing a building in Stalingrad that, like, Bob Build-A-Bitch over there decided to throw 13 or 14 barrel, or whatever,
yeah, they just
things
filled the building with barbed wire, and
yeah.
it takes forever to break them, but they don't blow up pretty quick. Like, I mean, they do blow up to the demolition charges, but it just takes a bit.
Look, if they added in Bangalore's or something that allowed me to, like, blow up,
oh, I should have cut down here.
What's it called? Like,
they know I'm here
debris?
now.
That'd be great. Like, I know that you can shoot or throw explosives at barbed wire, but it'd only take out, like, one.
I got my truck behind the base.
What I want is to be able to destroy all of them in one go. You know, I'm being harassed by, like, one German with a Stern pistol.
Oh.
Yeah, I got him.
You just couldn't go through that good old Russian armor?
Oh no, he can. This is the third time my tank's been on fire.
Oh. Well, I drove. Well, you died just in time to spawn on my truck and get to the objective.
No, I'm not dead.
Oh.
I gotta put out the fire again. But yeah.
Did they?
Oh, for fuck's sake, there's more Germans up ahead.
Oh, are they all back there with you?
Yeah, they're all coming out of this... well, there's at least a squad coming out of this building. Look, man, if they want to sit here... Ooh, head down. If they want to sit here and harass me, be my guest, because we're taking the point, and they're not.
I know, I'm on it. That's what I was saying.
That being said, yeah, there's a bunch of Germans that have been coming out of this building.
Germans above the building.
Oh, they've got a spawn point there. I mean, I kind of figured, given that they were all flying out the window, but, you know. So, what do you think of medics?
I'm surprised there's not more of them. In all honesty, like I'm just surprised there's just the one medic. I mean, there's so many assault guns, like assault rifle, or assault class guns that just have no one attached to them. I mean, I'm trying to think. Like, it'd be kind of cool if you like if you put engineers in a mega squad, you can build like a triage station, and it has like an AOE heal. So they like your guys don't have, because they like to make like specialized things for everybody.
Oh no. They killed Nikita.
Oh. Like, I know they like to make specialized, like the engineers do specialized things depending on what squads they're in, so it is kind of cool. You just build like a triage station or something. Or like for medics.
I like the idea for that. So, I've talked about before as a radio operator thing, them being able to build, like a command post where you could replenish your squad. Like the dead guys, you know, like you would call up like reinforcements, kind of like if you were playing like Company of Heroes and you like click the little button to, you know, get more dudes when you're like in friendly territory. Just
do a similar thing like they do in War Thunder.
Yeah.
Just make it something that you research in your tree that you unlock, and then when you make special command points that you can take.
Man, thanks Stalin for the add-on armor. This Panzer IV has no idea where to shoot me.
You're a thingamajig.
They're just shooting the front of my hull, and I'm just... Sooner or later, somebody's gonna kill me. But yeah, as far as medics are concerned, I like the idea of the AoE heal. I think that's a really neat concept, especially if it's like not like a big area, but like the size of like an artillery circle. I think that'd be cool. What I would like to see them do is come out with a Medic 2 squad that actually can put specialists in it. I think the biggest drawback to the Medic 1 squad is that it's all medics.
Yeah, I never even
like,
thought of that.
It's cool that it's all medics because there's more dudes carrying like automatics. But at the same time, I'd be willing to give up some of those automatics for, you know, an engineer and, I don't know, an AT soldier.
Yeah. Yeah, see, like, I didn't even think of that bit. Man, I wish you can drive with your normal squads in the trucks.
I think the other thing that I would like to see done, I would like medics to passively walk around and heal people. Like, when you play as a medic, you can walk up to people and heal them on your team.
Well,
I wish that the medic just ran around and did that.
Oh. I was saying, like, I wish that what they need to do is program it where the AI would just use their syringes on people.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, because that, like, because you don't need, like, I feel like, because if you just have, like an aura that just, like, you just heal people, it's, I mean, yeah, it'd be more of a reason to pick the medics, but I feel like that kind of, because
no.
What I'm saying, a little immersive.
What I'm saying is that the AI should walk around and heal people. Like, walk up to them, use a syringe, and heal them. It shouldn't be something that the player exclusively has to do.
Yeah, I can see.
God damn it. You know, I think they might finally have me.
Oh.
Yep, they finally got me. They lit me on fire again for like the 6th time.
Oh, are you in like the same tank?
Yes, I was in the same tank that whole time.
Wow.
Yeah, they just kept lighting me on fire. And slowly killing off the crew. On the same notion as both the buildings that we were talking about and the medics doing shit on their own, I would like them to, because actually this is something you and I have talked about before as well, I would like them to add in the ability to build AA guns that are manned by the AI. So you build them, they shoot at planes, and you can just leave them. Way,
yeah, and then they'll just sit in the thing, and then they don't count part of your squad.
So there'd be a team.
Same thing with machine guns too. Like, I mean, granted, I don't know why you would want to get the AI the machine gun,
cool.
But because like you would want to be on, you should be able to put people on like the mounted positions, and then you can go do other things, and then they'll shoot things in their cones, in their cone of vision.
Yeah, so basically my idea behind it is that there's a team limit for them the same way that there's a team limit for, what's it called, for half tracks. You get like 3 half tracks to your team. You could build 3 AI AA guns to your team. So like obviously if they get blown up, you need to rebuild them, so somebody needs to be paying attention to, you know, make sure they're actually existing. But at the same time, they wouldn't take away from player AA guns, so like a player could still build an AA gun and sit on an AA gun. It's just, I fly a lot of planes. There's a lot of matches where I don't deal with anybody shooting up at me from the ground, but there are also a lot of matches where people are shooting at me up, like from an AA gun on the ground, and every time I run into them, it's like one guy who's like bound and determined, like they fucking hate planes. They're gonna kill every plane in the game, and they're never gonna get off that AA gun. Every time I see it, I imagine myself in that position, and I feel like I would feel useless. Like, I know they're providing something really, really useful to their team, because it's something people already don't do.
Yeah, it's really only
but I would feel so useless sitting on an AA gun. And like, I know, like, looking at like, stats at the end of the game, it doesn't really reflect like, the importance of whatever it is that they've done. Like, shooting down planes is really useful, but, like, I don't feel like the score reflects that, and I feel like if I was doing it, I'd feel like I was wasting my time. So I would like it if, you could build AI and have the AI shoot down the planes.
I believe there's just so many damn Germans up on top of this building. It's not even funny.
Yeah, I believe it.
I'm glad
Likewise,
I managed to sneak around. I'm glad that guy just walked his face in front of my bullets, too. That was really useful.
likewise, now that we actually do have high tier and low tier anti-tank guns, I also think it's time for high tier and low tier AA guns.
Yeah. Man, I just wish I had more ammo. Oh,
I don't know what that actually looks like in game. Like, I don't know if they're going to be small caliber at both. Like, maybe you do like a 20 mil Orlikin at like BR2, and you do like a 40 mil at BR5, or do you just let like the Germans get like Pack 88s, or not Pack 88s, 88 mils, like Pack 36s.
I mean, I don't know enough about the AA guns in this, like, in the world, so...
Well, it's like the Germans I know have 20 mils, and they've got 37s, right? So, like...
Well, another
can
cool
have that
thing is
as
that
a
they went
distinction for
back
them.
and made it so that fucking, like, the AA guns can actually aim down.
They did. They can aim down again.
Oh, they can't? I haven't built
Yes.
one, because, like, I stopped kind of trying because
Yes,
of that.
yes, they changed that.
Because it's so stupid. It's like, oh, you can't aim in front of you. What are you gonna do? It's like, because at least then you can use an AA gun like a machine gun and hold a position, and then also shoot a plane down. Oh, someone's going that way. It's nice that this guy in his slow ass tier 1 tank
yeah,
just won't
hit
get
it.
in my way and not share the road. You know, you can share the road, you don't have to, like, pull in front of me. I, like, purposely drove around the fucker.
You know, sometimes I am astounded at how, like, instant death my Panzerfausts can be to tanks. And then sometimes I am just so astounded at how useless they are against other armored vehicles, like half-tracks.
Yeah. Hooray for not having the reload perks.
You know, the machinery appears like on fire. It's like its own little smoke screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wish...
Most of the Germans in here are on, like, the upper deck.
Yeah, it's not surprising. Oh, somebody's shooting me in the back, I think. Or shooting me from above, I don't know. I don't know where the hell they spawn. I don't know where I could go to shoot people. I got 2 people at least.
We are running out of tickets.
Yeah,
Like, we
I see
probably
that.
have more than enough to, like, brute force our way through and take this, but, like, we need to really get on it.
That's asking too much.
Do you have any flamethrowers?
No.
Me neither. But I feel like a flamethrower is kind of what we need right now.
I don't know how that guy didn't die in that. Like, I just fired a 76 mil shell into the attic of a house, and the dude's like, I'm fine. Don't worry. Are they, like, more on the other side or some shit? Yep. There's 3 dead people. I know they're also all, like, above.
Yeah, I'm trying to slow down their reinforcements. Because if we can do that, we're probably going to be fine.
I wish I had my torch, remember. I'm kind of just driving around, trying to find things to shoot.
Well, there's things out beyond the buildings, but you know.
Right.
Like up to your right.
Oh, I've been just like driving around. So, oh, they're on this side. There's a guy in here. There's a bunch of people in a rally point. There's another bunch of people. I think there's a spawn beacon in this building.
They're like off in this direction. That's where I saw them coming from. There's also some, yeah, right there.
And there's sometimes I wish...
I mine stuff in that building.
Oh, were you the marks?
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of Germans coming out of this building right here. I'm just driving around, so... People survive HE like it's nothing. I wish I had the mental I wish I had the fortitude of people who in these games. Don't worry, not a single person.
Climb the ladder. Oh, there's a bunch of them up here.
Not surprising. Reload. One day I'll reload. Oh. He actually went to the turret finally. Oh. Hey. It's nice that like I still feel like when it comes to tanks, Russia is easy mode.
Yeah.
One day.
Well, Russia designed tanks that scale really well into video games. They don't have to suffer from any of the drawbacks that they had in the real world, like breaking down or having shoddy construction.
How did I beat you on paratroopers? I spawned once.
I don't know. Maybe you had one really good life.
I don't think I did that much. I mean, I helped take the one objective, and that was it.
No.
I don't know. Do I have any upgrades? Wait, do I have some upgrades? Okay. More people. It's too bad I don't have upgrades for the thing I want upgrades for.
I need one more kill with a semi-auto.
Hooray! Hooray, I can get a full crew from my T-34 now.